Hi, good morning. This is the first Saturday, December 2nd. This is side one of our brand new topic on advanced placement courses. And I'm really surprised that none of my students have logged on, but I'm going to go ahead and record the class because I'm super excited about this topic. So I'm going to start with sharing the screen. And a lot of really cool, she just kind of summarizes the whole bit in this cool video. So if people start to log on, I will go ahead and kind of interrupt her and explain what they're watching. Okay, here we go.
Or AP classes and exams can be a great boon or a huge pain. Having some basic information on the program can help you make the best choices for your education. Advanced placement courses are designed to provide you with a level of knowledge that you can build on in college. You can use them to advance beyond entry-level college courses. AP classes are a product of the College Board. This is the same nonprofit that runs the SAT and PSAT tests. In 1955, the College Board took over the movement to provide US and Canadian high schools with a way to offer more significant academic challenges and an entree to college credits to their students. There's a great deal of information about advanced placement classes and exams that can make a difference in your future. Hi, I'm Margaret Meek, and this is The Truth About AP. Ready for a very important fact? You will not receive college credit by taking an AP course through your high school. Yep, you can only earn college credit by scoring well on the AP exam for that subject. You do earn high school credit for the courses, and you can complete some of the classes necessary to meet your graduation requirements by passing AP courses. Did you know that unless there is such a rule implemented in your high school, you do not have to take the AP test to receive high school credit for the class? Further, you can take an AP exam and earn a score to transfer to your college of choice for credit without ever taking the corresponding AP class. As the test is the only measure accepted by colleges of your working knowledge of the subject matter, and since every high school does not necessarily offer AP courses or the subject you want, there is the option to take the test based on your independent study. You must register for the exam sometime between early September and mid-November. Go to the College Board website, follow the instructions, pay the fee, and follow up to ensure you are assigned to a testing site. It is up to each college to decide if they will award you credit for any AP exam you have taken, and that approval may be tied to your score on the test. Generally, on the 5-point scale, you need to earn at least a 3 to have a chance at college credit. For some colleges, you must score a 4 or 5. And for some competitive colleges, taking AP courses earns you goodwill for assuming a challenging array of classes, but no credit will be awarded at their school, no matter your score. They simply do not accept AP credit.
These are your
Many
top
students
Ivy
and
League
parents
schools.
focus on advanced placement classes as a way to save money in college. And if the credits are accepted, that can be a significant savings, even with the cost of the test. In college, you would be paying the fee by credit hour for the course equivalent, and that would be hundreds of dollars more expensive. However, if you cannot focus enough to test well, or the college you attend does not accept AP credits, the savings is negated as a reason to take these exams. In 2023, each standard AP exam costs $97. Of those funds, your school is paid $9 for each test you take. Capstone course tests cost a bit more. Some high schools and the College Board offer scholarships or fee reductions to eligible students. Ask your counselor for more information on identifying financial assistance for test taking. The College Board currently offers more than 35 courses. Each course is regularly evaluated and altered as deemed necessary. It is up to your high school to select the AP courses they will offer and the teachers for each. It takes 2 to 6 years to develop a course framework and the exam from beginning to full implementation. Courses are developed by college faculty and seasoned AP instructors by starting with the desired end result, learning objectives, or the test, and then they move backward to find the best order of topics and the best resources and learning materials. Did you know that AP teachers are provided with the course framework of the subjects to be covered and resources? No syllabus is provided. There are
That's
no
not a
required
good thing,
activities
by the
or
way. We're gonna
across the
talk
board
about that.
midterms. Those instruction devices are left to each teacher. It is recommended that teachers have at least 3 years of experience before they take on AP courses.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop there. I apologize, my glass is broken. I bought a new pair and I can't find them. So I have this like extra pair in my office. I apologize. I know it's unsightly. So I have a child who's already graduated high school, who's already graduated college. And I can tell you the level of stress that AP courses put on her was unbelievable. And I can just tell you, as a teacher of 25 years, I've seen the damage AP has done to high school kids. I didn't have that growing up because when I graduated, I'm not going to tell you the year I graduated, AP was not in public school. So let's do a little history here. And if you look at your lead, that's kind of what I started with. I honestly did not know that College Board has been around since 1955. I had no idea. So I think when you look at the origin of College Board, there were two distinguished committees whose goal at that time was to find a way to allow students to excel in education, preparing them for Harvard. So if you look at the first committee by Andover, it was represented by 6 elite schools: Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Lawrenceville, Exeter, and Andover. The second committee involved 12 other colleges. So the problem in the past and today continues. Advanced placement courses have always been exclusionary in nature, which means only the wealthy could afford advanced education. So those of you who are in a public school, what you don't understand is AP courses weren't designed for public schools. They were designed for prep schools, for boarding schools, for the wealthy kids. And they did have an advantage. It wasn't until the federal government began to fund AP courses and exams, believing that they helped advance education in the public school system. So College Board is considered a nonprofit organization. They oversee all AP courses and administer SAT and PSAT exams. A high school student who qualifies, that's the thing we're going to talk about today, can sign up to take any AP course at their high school. So you can take an AP course and not take the exam at the end of the year, but the exam at the end of the year is where you can gain or not gain college credit. You have to score a minimum of 3, and I will tell you, point blank, most schools won't accept 3. It has to be a 4 or 5. And even if you do score a 4 or 5, if you're a Texas school, if you're Texas A&M, if you're UT, they will accept college credit. If you are an Ivy League school, if you are a top tier school, it is highly likely they will not take AP credit. Why? The reason is their programs, for example, at Harvard, are so rigorous. What they have found is students, even those students who have taken AP exams and scored well, needed a foundation, needed, a level of support before they went into their degree plan. And they wanted to make sure that they could have that fundamental foundation so they don't accept them. Is it about money as well? Come on, sure it is. They get more money out of you if you have to pay for an additional year of college. Those who argue in favor of AP courses, they claim these accelerated courses that are supposed to be at college level prepare high school students for the rigors of college. And that's what College Board advertises. They save students and their families money on college's expenses, as AP sources courses can serve as college credits. I'm not going to lie to you. That is absolutely true. My daughter had a friend in high school who completely, and by the way, she went to Bishop Lynch, and Bishop Lynch is the #1 school in Texas that offers more AP courses than any other high school institution. I know, my daughter went there. We laughed about it last night. She had she basically went into the UT school system, engineering. She was a straight A student, #3 in her class. Never had a score lower than 97, to my knowledge, ever. So she went into UT as a sophomore, basically skipped a whole freshman year. Okay, let's be honest. That's a lot of money that you save. That's a lot of time that you save. Let me tell you the problem she had. She goes into advanced level, sophomore level, or junior level engineering classes, and she's making C's for the first time in her life, and she doesn't understand why. She's smart. Look at the grades she got on all these AP exams. How can she be making C's? That's one of the arguments today. So there is a book that has been released. It is, Starting a Controversy About AP. It's a game changer. If you go to page 4, it says A Brutal Critique of AP Courses. This is the article by Scott Jashnik. It's dated April 24th, 2023. So Annie Abrams, she has earned a PhD at New York University. She wrote a book called Shortchanged: How Advanced Placement Cheats Students. So she gets her PhD from New York University. She teaches at the collegiate level, and she goes in to teach high school AP English. And she really felt confident going in. And as she is taking on the College Board and what the materials that they supply her with the curriculum, she says, quote, "I was wrong to assume continuity between the experiences of teaching liberal arts courses and navigating the AP program. Teaching in college, she learned the point of marking essays, which helped students to grow and refine their thinking while instilling within them confidence that they were capable of intellectual growth." Very much like what I do with edits. I mark it. This is what you did right. This is what you can improve. As an AP English teacher, she says, "I tried to offer meaningful feedback, but my literature course had 2 goals: help students take their own minds seriously in giving them specific and often competing tools to perform well on high stakes tests at the end of the year." What does that mean? It means, to be blunt, this is the same problem we had with STARS testing. Teachers are not teaching you for knowledge, for creative thinking, for critical thinking, to give you a deep mastery of a topic. They are teaching to a test. She says the definite appeal of using College Board scale, a 1 to 9, and using its canned commentary for each point was, she said, I really liked the idea of it, made it simple for her. But the exercise became mechanical. Her criticism applied equally, not just across English, across all AP disciplines. The problem, she writes, is collateral damage caused by moving away from a vision of higher level learning and instead emphasizing testing. She discusses the AP Classroom, which is a new digital platform created by College Board, and how it made instruction a perversely dehumanized transaction. AP Classroom is a cheap version of the real thing, she says, and the quality of education it offers is likewise impoverished. The presentation of information is clean, sterile, and static. The manual for U.S. history, she says, is simultaneously dizzy and reductive. Everything is quantifiable. There are 9 units and roughly 15 instructional periods per unit. Each day has an associated skill from a list of 6, a reasoning process from a list of 3, and a theme from a list of 8. All of these features, Abram writes, there is not an emphasis on teaching. It systematically desiccates the course's meaning. Whoa. Yeah. So I bought the book. And as a teacher of over 25 years of experience. I'm not going to tell you the number. 100% back it. On page 5, she really supported her claim. She doesn't just make the claim, she supports the claim. So let me just kind of tell you what's going on with College Board. They have categorically denied her claims. So let me go to Stanford. And they're also, Denise Pope is a senior lecturer at the Stanford Graduate School of Education. And she has some comments as well. They are investigating AP courses. We've noticed, she said, some of the private schools dropping AP courses and even some public schools. Okay, so the private school sector is always ahead of the public school sector. Maybe you're shocked to find out that private schools are dropping AP courses. Interesting. Maybe you're aware of the new international baccalaureate program. Maybe you're more aware of dual credit. These are in a lot of private schools taking the place of AP courses. And I'm going to tell you from my own daughter's experience, she says, and this is 25-year-old postgraduate from college, she gained more from her dual credit courses than AP. She said, I learned in my dual credit courses. All I did was figure out how to pass a test in my AP courses. This is my 25-year-old daughter who, pretty candid, 20-year-olds pretty candid. And this is what they learn looking back on their experience. And most of you are in it right now. You're making these decisions right now. They say AP courses are a real cause for stress for kids. There are 2 tracks and limited options for students today. Those 2 tracks are the remedial track or the AP track. My daughter also shared with me, I wasn't going to do the remedial track. I was going to do the AP track. So AP students are basically in a school within a school, though, she says. This is the Stanford teacher, graduate school professor. They're not mixing up kids. So this is your top kids in classes with the top kids. You're not allowing students to learn from everyone. You're isolating and giving likely better resources to a fewer number of students. And this is really our second argument, which is the disparities in our education system. And this goes back to 1955 when the College Board was formed. And at that time, AP courses were given to wealthy private schools, wealthy boarding schools. The public school system didn't even have access to AP courses when it was initially created. In many places, they just plop in the AP program. There's no indication that it's leveling the playing field in these communities because a teacher is supposed to sign up for professional development. They're supposed to learn on their own how to teach an AP class, but there's nothing in the school or the curriculum or the district that mandates the schools monitor the AP instruction. Are kids wasting their time? This is back to Abrams. She's backing up Abrams here. She says AP exam courses, this is the Stanford professor, may be more harmful than helpful. Colleges don't always accept the courses for college credit. We talked about that. Many students end up repeating the course in college anyway. You will if you go to an Ivy League or a top tier school. And you can run the risk of memorizing material for a test versus diving into a subject and exploring it in a rich way. Okay, so there is another argument here about inequity with lower income schools. So College Board, I want you to know, has come in and says, we're going to offer AP courses to these lower socioeconomic high schools. We're going to make sure that we close this gap. And they claim, and this is what College Board claims, that if you take an AP course, you are likely, I'm going to make sure I quote it specifically because I want to make sure, because their claim is really hard to back up. I want to make sure I say it exactly right. I'm gonna go find it here. Let's just go to the outline here. So let me tell you kind of where I'm going here. There are so many arguments, by the way. I could have done 10. I could have given you 10 arguments against AP courses. And I want to, before I do the outline, I want to make sure I'm pretty clear. I don't disagree with AP courses. I don't. I think they are very, they have been very helpful in accelerating education. I do think something has been lost. And I can pinpoint the moment it was lost. My program changed during the pandemic when a lot of things happened, one of which was the SAT essay was dropped. And then colleges decided the SAT was optional. Not just the essay, the whole SAT was optional because it was one measure of learning. AP exams, AP courses, the grade you get in those courses, your SAT score, your essay, all of these affect college admissions. But here's an interesting thing that happened. College Board lost millions of dollars when that decision was made. So they came back, this is a nonprofit organization, and decided to offer new AP courses. African American history, psychology, which, by the way, are under fire. If you are watching the news at all, Governor Ron DeSantis, also one of the Republican candidates for president, has a little issue with College Board. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis banned the organization's new AP African American Studies pilot course for allegedly defying state law that took effect in July 2022. It limits instruction on topics of race. The state also butted heads with College Board over its AP Psych course and whether it adhered to state laws limiting instruction on gender and sexual orientation. And here's what College Board said. Basically, what Governor DeSantis wasn't wrong. They were putting into these AP courses college level material. Okay, just to be clear, I graduated high school at 17. A 17-year-old does not need to be exposed to college level material. There may be a maturity issue. They may not be ready for that. And it may change their thinking. We as educators also have the privilege of protecting students and what information they're given based on their maturity level, based on their age. And this was their argument. So really interesting. We've got a book out by Annie Abrams blasting AP. We've got Governor Ron DeSantis. We've got private schools and public schools dropping AP courses. Something's stinks here, right? So I think I've kind of put my finger on the pulse, and it's about money. So number one, our first argument, one of the strongest arguments criticizing AP courses comes from educators who claim exams create a system where a teacher's instruction is not based on engaging critical thinking. Rather, teachers prepare students to answer questions for a test, which means these courses fail to meet the college level standard. Teachers must qualify to teach AP courses and have found they're given a curriculum to follow and expected to teach it as presented, even though they say the teacher can, no. The main goal is preparing students to answer questions on a test in order to score high enough to be given college credit for the course. So Boston College professor John Tierney formerly taught high school AP course called AP Classes a Scam. AP Classroom is where intellectual curiosity goes to die, he said. He explained AP teachers are forced to follow such rigid guidelines from College Board and cover extensive material, so much so there's no room to dive into deeper learning or take the time to apply what has been learned with higher level critical thinking. Ironically, AP courses keep this from happening. Only at the college level, with professors who've been given the freedom to create their own lesson plans, can a deeper exploration of learning take place. If these AP courses were intended for advanced learning, they should be preparing students for college curriculum. But the only thing they're preparing students for are answering questions on a test. This is his point of view. College psychology professor Peter Gray agreed with Tierney's position, backing him, claiming AP courses were a racket. Gray's argument focuses on what College Board gains by offering more and more AP courses to high school students. He believes College Board is running more like a corporation than a nonprofit organization it was originally designed to be, which means the more students who take AP courses and sign up to pay for those AP exams that cost roughly $98 per person, the more financial gains College Board makes. Unfortunately, Gray feels along the way the College Board's emphasis on profit has devalued education. It's a really good argument. Today, any student can take an AP course. You don't even have to qualify anymore. It used to be you had to qualify, right, for advanced level. You don't even have to do it through your high school. You can do it through College Board. I know. They should be preparing students for, so today any student can take this was not how the early AP system was set up. It was intended for upper level students who qualified for more intense classes. College Board is making the claim students need AP courses to gain admission into colleges. Most students, even those who are ill prepared, will pay the money for AP exams, even if their school doesn't offer the course. And recently, College Board has been in a position to defend its actions. And this whole three is what I talked about with Annie Abrams and her new book, Shortchanged. You can see it's really long. Bottom line, the College Board name sounds like some sort of quasi-government entity overseeing higher education. But you have to remind yourself this is a private company with products to market. College Board has much to lose if AP courses lose credibility, especially since the College Board has sustained financial losses since most colleges have dropped the SAT. All in all, instead of preparing students to learn by exploring and delving into subject matter, experts claim AP courses teach them to memorize material to pass a test without mastering the material. Since its inception, this is argument 2, AP courses have benefited wealthier schools and students, creating inequity with lower socioeconomic groups. Even though the College Board has worked to expand its reach by offering better access for these groups, they may actually be doing more harm than good. College Board has moved to expand the number of students who take AP courses and exams by pitching the program to low-income students and the schools who serve them. Chief Executive of College Board, David Coleman, claims, this is a quote, "What if the best stuff in education were not just for the best to distinguish themselves, but could engage a much broader set of kids?" The problem is the statistics do not support his statement. In 2022, taxpayers were the ones who paid for AP tests these students failed. Its AP program, this is what College Board claims, helps all students, regardless of scores, do better in college. A claim that has helped persuade states and local districts to help pay for the tests. Many school districts have paid millions of dollars to College Board for AP courses and exams. Here's what statistics show in those lower income schools. 60% of AP exams taken by low income students scored too low, 1 or 2 out of the 5. And that has not budged in 20 years. These low scores translate to a student receiving no college credit for the time they've invested in taking the AP course and the money it took to pay for them. When College Board made their claims, the AP courses help all students. These statistics prove otherwise. 20 years, right, of invalidating that comment. Kristen Klopfenstein, director of the Colorado Evaluation and Action Lab at the University of Denver, analyzed data to address social issues. She finds the briefs released by College Board to support their AP programs amounts to junk science. She says their claims read more like a marketing advertisement than a product of scientific study yielding clear results. In 2021, the College Board went so far as to release a study which showed even students who performed badly on the exam experienced benefits. Since then, the College Board is expanding their reach with AP courses and exams. Interesting. So they're allowing more and more. Many believe this is due to a loss in revenue College Board sustained between 2019 and 2022, when profits plummeted from $403.6 million to $289.2 million. This was when the SAT was no longer required. Since then, College Board has looked for a new way to increase revenue by developing new AP courses, such as African American Studies, Business, and Psychology. Their plan has worked so far. They've been able to increase profits up to $500 million through AP courses and exams alone, of which $100 million comes from you, taxpayers. The facts shown with outside independent research show there are problems with AP courses. They cannot deliver what they claim. A 2018 study analyzing a dozen different analyses. On the whole, minimal to no impacts of the courses on college outcomes. Dylan Conger, professor at George Washington University, also found the AP class showed them as having lower confidence in their ability to succeed in college with higher levels of stress and worse grades. These were the lower income students where they put in these. These results devalue what College Board promises, what students gain by taking AP courses. Finally, in 2023, AP students were no more likely to enroll in college and 8% points less likely to attend a competitive college. The bottom line is schools today are considering other options because AP courses are not making the grade. And this is where I bring up International Baccalaureate or dual credit as different options. So the College Board appears to be taking the disparity in socioeconomic groups seriously by ensuring AP courses are offered to lower income groups. However, their claims to help them achieve college readiness fail to ring true. So this is conclusion of side one, opponents of advanced placement courses and exams. I hope that you learned some valuable information. There's a lot to this, and I only picked the two arguments I thought were the strongest and the most controversial. Okay, thanks for listening. Have a great day.